Welcome back to Buzzer2Buzzer.
Alrighty, guys, so we have already covered our reactions going on in the Eastern Conference first round playoffs. But now today we're going to be talking about the Western Conference, seeing what's been going on there in the first couple of games. And to get started off with, we're going to be talking about the series between the number 2 and number 7 seed, that of course being the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. Now, guys, we saw the first game, the Phoenix Suns take that game against the Lakers, winning by a large margin. But the Lakers, in true fashion, coming back, bouncing back in the second game, winning 109-102. Guys, it's been a series back and forth. We have seen a lot of tensions between these two teams. So much action going down between the young core of the Suns, led by CP3, the vet, going against the LeBron and AD-led Lakers. Has any of our thoughts shifted from these first two games?
I don't really know if you can say the Suns led by CP3 right now. He's not playing at what he usually plays like, obviously, and you can't blame him. He's coming off injuries, and it's been a rough couple 2 games for him. So the Suns have had to step up. Devin Booker has had to step up. DeAndre Ayton, I think you have to give a lot of credit to him. His defense has been amazing against Anthony Davis, and he's been playing great for that young of a player. But I don't really know where the series is going to go. It's really close right now. I think Chris Paul, if he gets back to his old playing style, it can go either way. Right now, though, I'm going to go with my original pick, stick with the original pick, Lakers, because CP3 just doesn't look like how he normally does.
Yeah, after the first game, I think it was evident that, with CP3 healthy, the Suns are a tough matchup for the Lakers. Just because they have so much scoring and they can space out the floor so much, and the Lakers don't have enough defenders around the perimeter. But with CP3, being at what he is with his injury, I don't know if the Suns have enough leadership and, command of the floor to beat the Lakers, who have LeBron and AD. DeAndre Ayton has played great. He dominated AD in the first game, and then AD came back with the second game. But I just don't see the Suns winning another game in the series if CP3 is not fully healthy.
Earlier when we were talking about this matchup, I was going to say it was pretty easy for the Lakers because I wasn't sure how Devin Booker and DeAndre were going to do in the first time in the playoffs. And, they've been lights out. They've honestly been carrying this team. And it's kind of phenomenal to see this new wave of young players taking over the league. We got Trae Young, we got Luka Doncic, and we got Ayton Booker. So it's kind of nice to see the sort of wave. Jason Tatum, to name another. And so it's kind of nice seeing the league move in this direction. It's going to be sad to leave these old stars, but the league is in good hands.
For sure, that is certain harsh that we're seeing these young stars evolve into something else. And even though the Suns, CP3, the shoulder injury is for sure going to affect this matchup. You saw first game. I'm not going to lie, the Suns were giving the Lakers a good run for their money. Heck, they won the first game because of that, right? And now with CP3 out, he just played, 6-10 minutes, I believe, in the second game. It matters. His offensive and defensive efficiency, the way he guides his teammates is for sure super valuable. But I think the Lakers are going to start finding the groove. First game, we saw Anthony Davis go 5 for 16, have barely 13 points or something of that sort. Comes back second game, 34 points and 10 boards. I think the Lakers, they just got room to improve. They know what they're doing. They've been here last year in the bubble playoffs as well. And if the Suns continue with this type of matchup, I think the Suns might be able to steal one more game. But at the end of the day, the Lakers looking out victorious.
So let's move on to the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. The series is right now tied at 1-1. And, I think it's been a pretty good matchup so far. Obviously, the Grizzlies dominated game 1, Jazz dominated game 2. And I just think that I'm going to stay with my original pick. I think the Jazz are going to take the series, even though it's tied right now. Just looking at game 2 overall, Jazz's peak performance, when they play their best, it's a lot better than what Grizzlies look like at their best. And, I think that game 1 was kind of a game just for them to figure out how the Grizzlies play, how Ja Morant plays, how to stop him. And I think they succeeded in stopping him. They succeeded in stopping that offense. Game 2, Rudy Gobert in the paint leading that defense was, he just did great too. So I just don't really see that the Grizzlies winning this matchup. I think the Jazz are going to take this one, but it might go to 6-7 games. Who knows?
Ja Morant came out last night. He said 2 words: "Bring it." And honestly, Ja Morant, as we've seen, dropping 40, I feel like we're saying 40-some points, is phenomenal. The impact he's having, going back to that point of Harsh, that this young league we're developing, it's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of years how the league transforms. But I still got the Jazz winning this game. The defensive presence which Rudy Gobert has in the paint, along with Donovan Mitchell helping this team out, they got a team, and I'm excited to see them win the series.
John Moran came out and dropped 47. He's a phenomenal player. Again, one of those players that's going to be great for the league in this coming years. But Donovan Mitchell, he didn't play the first game. They wanted to make sure he was fully 100%. It was sort of, a game that they wanted to see where they were in terms of comparison to the Grizzlies. Obviously, they came out game 2, Donovan Mitchell. They killed them. I see the same thing happening for 3, 4, and 5. The Jazz should easily take this one. Moving on to our second last matchup in the West, we got the Nuggets and the Lakers. This is personally my favorite matchup. I think that Damian Lillard is a great playoff performer. He's going to go lights out one night and completely shut down the other team, regardless of who it is. And then there'll be other nights where Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon will be phenomenal. They'll play that team basketball that we all love to see. And so for me, this is such an exciting matchup. Nuggets came out. They won game 2 after a sort of shaky game 1. And I don't think Damian Lillard can carry this either. Carry this team through the rest of the series. This Blazers team is good when they shoot at high efficiencies, but the efficiencies that they shoot at like 50% from 3, 60%, that's not something you can maintain for a whole series, or at least very unlikely to. And so for the Blazers to be able to win, they got to step up defense because we know the Nuggets, the offensive firepower is going to be there every game. It's just a matter of can the Blazers make more shots than them.
I originally predicted the Blazers were going to win this matchup, and now I'm a bit uncertain if my prediction is going to turn out to be true. Like you said, Harsh, it's really hard to maintain that high level of shooting that the Blazers, when they win, they always shoot really well, and it's hard to maintain that. And even with Damian Lillard, it's usually him just having a great game, and the rest of the team is kind of lacking. Like it's what happened with game 2. He scored 42 points. The rest of the team, didn't really show up that much, and that's not going to work against a team like the Nuggets with the Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon leading that team. So, we'll have to see how the rest of the games pan out.
For sure with the Nuggets, we're seeing young stars, Austin Rivers, Michael Porter Jr., of course, Nikola Jokic still being there, dropping 38 this past game. I think for the Blazers to have success, they need more people than just Damian Lillard dropping 42 throughout the game. They need, CJ McCollum was there with 20-some points, but need players like Robert Covington, Carmelo Anthony to keep on having that impact which they have. If that doesn't happen, the Nuggets, I can see them wrapping this series up soon.
And now for the final series, probably the most unexpected results of any series.
Expected, but yeah.
Dallas Mavericks up 2-0 on the Clippers. With the series, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this point is that the Clippers. We all thought their roster is extremely talented, but honestly, their roster isn't that deep. If you take a really look at it, besides PG and Kawhi, and maybe Rondo, you could say no other players have that much valuable experience and/or production on that team. I think it's going to be super interesting to see. Obviously, the next game is a do or die. If the Clippers lose series 100% over, it's no team has ever come back down 3-0. So I think it's probably going to be the defining moment. If they lose tomorrow, I can really see Paul George getting traded in the offseason. Maybe firing Tyronn Lue. A lot of things could happen, but I think tomorrow's game, I think you'll see what the Clippers are really made of, if anything.
You can't even blame Kawhi Leonard for this performance or Paul George because he put up 41 points. It's not his fault. There's nothing else he can do. But if we're going to talk about the Mavericks, I think we all got to give them some credit. Like we all thought the Clippers were going to gentleman sweep. We all thought that they were going to win 4-1. So we were doubting the Mavericks, and Luka, his potential is just insane. Like his ceiling can easily be one of the best. He already is one of the best players in the league, but he can be like the best player in the league in a couple of years. And he's playing amazing. Porzingis is playing good, but a player that I feel was unexpected is Tim Hardaway Jr. He dropped 29 the second game, I think like 26 the first game. His role has been crazy. He's been playing amazing this playoffs so far, and if he continues to play the way he has been playing, I think the Mavericks can sweep the Clippers.
Yeah, the Mavericks, right? You said they might be able to sleep. It's looking likely at this point, but this team, obviously, we know they don't have what it takes to make that deep playoff run into the Western Conference Finals and championship game. But sort of looking at that, what are they with? They're missing a power forward. They're missing a consistent power. If Tim Hardaway can keep this up for the rest of the next 2 seasons, they could be really strong. And they're like a power forward away, like a Julius Randle. Having somebody like Giannis coming to the Mavericks, obviously that's not happening, but they're that close to being that team. Luka Doncic is amazing. Kristaps Porzingis has come back into the light where he was last playoffs. You know, he was missing all season, but he's back when they need him the most. And so for me, this Clippers team is looking very scary right now. They don't know what they're doing. I'm worried about them. Orin, he might have gotten the wrong vaccine. Paul George, pandemic P again? Oh no.
No, we like to say that Moderna and Pfizer are the two main, and then you got some other ones going on. Ari, like Harsh said, I don't know what he's on. You know, there's a difference between what you think's going to happen and what you really want to happen in your heart. And right here, this is what's been going on with the Mavericks. Oh my gosh, Ari. Being Harsh have covered it pretty much. We've seen Luka, Kristaps, Tim Hardaway balling out, and hopefully keep on balling out. But if the Clippers, if they get swept in the first round of the 2021 NBA playoffs, I'm looking back 16 or 18 months when Kawhi Leonard was going in his 1998 Mustang, that commercial. He's saying with the glasses on, "This is my city." Boy, that's not his city. That is not his city. That is 100% not his city. If he gets swept in his first round, the impact which this will have not only on his legacy, but the Clippers' legacy, it's going to be tarnished. If it's a sweep, of all things, we will have certainly a lot to discuss. Some more on that. Alrighty, guys, those are our thoughts on the 2021 NBA playoffs progressing in the Western Conference. As always, guys, be sure to like button, subscribe, and comment down below your surprises, thoughts going on in the West. Of course, other than the Clippers getting it handed to them 0-2. Ari, still feeling it. Guys, take care. Console them in the comments down below. Catch you guys on the next one.